Welcome back to Lawyers, Guns, and Money. I'm David Houston.
And I'm Scott Freeman. We're pleased to have as our guest Churchill County Chief Deputy District Attorney Tom Stockard.
Tom, one of the things that you've done, and it's really kind of unusual, but it's in keeping with your philosophy of being accessible, is you've actually created a website. I think it's stockardforjudge.com, and I believe they're going to try to put that up on the screen. And the purpose of that website, if I'm wrong, is to allow people to have contact or maybe get to know you better or have questions. Can you give us a better idea of why you did that and what you're trying to accomplish?
Sure. One of the purposes of my campaign is to really reach out to all the voters, make sure I understand what their concerns are, because sometimes I've been, like I said, I've been surprised as I've talked to people that one of the things they want to do is speed things up. I want to try to modernize our court filing system. For example, in Washoe County now they have electronic filing.
Right.
And that's a great, I think it makes the whole process more efficient. Think about this, you know, a lot of times in a divorce or a criminal case, someone in Churchill County maybe has an attorney in Reno. To pay them to drive out to file a document, you're going to pay them $400 or $600. If we had electronic filing, it could be filed that day, served on all the parties.
Yep. And
it could dramatically reduce the economic drain on the litigants, and I think that's a positive thing. One of the things I've done with my website is try to set up so people can get to know me and my family. I have 4 kids. I've been married now for 18 years. Find out a little bit about me. I'm fluent in Spanish. I may be one of the only, I'm sure there are some other judges in Nevada, but that's, I don't typically run into too many people who have those types of things. Right. I want to meet the voters. I want to find out what they want. I want them to get to know me so that if they appear in front of me when I'm a judge, they'll have confidence that I'll be fair, that I'll be just.
Mm-hmm. When you consider the whole purpose of running for judge and the idea that you want to get to know the community, is it important to know the community trends? You know, I mean, if you're dispensing justice in a community, do you take into consideration the, I don't want to say politics of the community, but I guess the general overall sense of that community? Is that part of it?
I think so, and I think one of the things that I do well is represent the values of both Churchill and Lyon County. I've spent a lot of time there. We're very invested in those communities. I plan on living there my whole life. And so I do. I think it's important that the judge dispense justice, but that at the same time they reflect the values of their community within the you've got to follow the statutes.
Of course.
And the law, but I do think you need to do that.
Tom, as you sort of hit the campaign trail, what are some of the ways you're doing that? You mentioned earlier that you're visiting on the weekends various places and doing different things. What kind of events are you participating in that maybe our viewers in Churchill and Lyon can catch up with you to do?
Well, one of the things I'm going to do on my website, I'm going to make sure and list all the different events we're going to have. Just this last weekend in Fallon, we had Dancing with the Stars, our own version. We had over 1,200 people there. Our mayor danced, different people, they all did a wonderful job. This weekend, we have a Jefferson Jackson Day dinner in Fallon and an NRA dinner in Yerington, and I'm going to be hitting both of those. You
got to let Scott and I know when they're going to hit the pancake breakfast circuit, because obviously those are fun. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Tom, we wish you the best of luck, and we certainly wish you great success, and we'd like to have you come back at some point, and certainly we feel you've come back as a newly elected judge. Give us your ideas, your thoughts for the community, and we'll look forward to that.
And we really appreciate you taking the time this Sunday afternoon and being on Lawyers, Guns, and Money. And again, you've always been fair with us, and we've enjoyed working with you, and we know you're going to bring that to the bench, and we're really excited for you in this way. So, you know, it's always good to have candidates on Lawyers, Guns, and Money so that our viewers can get to know you, especially as a judge position, because it being nonpartisan, you're not really taking a position one way or another. You're just saying, here I am, here are my qualifications, I'm the best guy for the job. So we really appreciate you being on Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
And the operative word is fair, and we of course appreciate that regardless of the outcome. But we want to thank you for joining us, and you have a great Sunday.